morning, Sainers. Welcome back to Saints TV Weekly for May 13. Thanks to our sponsors, Inglewood Coffee Roasters. Check out their website, inglewoodcoffeeroasters.com.au. Use the discount code SaintsTV24 and you get 40% off coffee, tea, and chai products. It's awesome. Check it out. All right, so let's get straight into it. Round 9, we played Hawthorn in Tassie, and we lost in a close one because that hasn't been done before this year. For like 6 times. No. Yeah, we lost by 5 points, kicked pretty much no goals. Question marks over Ross Lyon and his style and blah, blah, blah. Check out my review. It goes for about 26 minutes. You can watch me rant. Just on a serious note, just a really disappointing game. Really hard to watch, not something that a neutral would enjoy. And it's just kind of a rinse and repeat of what we've seen for a lot of the season. A lot of uncharacteristic errors, a lot of bad goal kicking, a lot of fumbles, losing a close game we probably should win if we're playing half-decent football. And now we find ourselves in that precarious position of 3 and 6, and we play Fremantle on Saturday night, which will be a big game. But yeah, not an ideal situation to be in. I don't think we got really any injuries from that game. Jack Hayes was subbed off tactically, but Hunter Clark played at Sandy, so we'll talk about that and how he went down. Butler's a couple of weeks away. Brad Crouch a couple of weeks away. Ollie Houghton a couple of weeks away. James Van Ez TBC. That's as of last week, so it'll adjust probably tomorrow when it comes out. But no new names on there, and the list continues to shrink every week, which is great, but also means we've got no excuses now. We're getting all these players back. Some of them do need some time, like Liam Henry, who only had the 4 possessions, but we are getting a full bill of health, which is great. Into Sandy, they took on the Box Hill Hawks yesterday in round 7, and they went down by 5 points in another close one. So we keep losing these close games. So Hawthorn have done the double over us this weekend, 87-82, 11-16 we kicked. So again, bad goal kicking, bad football, we lose a close one. It just, whatever's happening in AFL level, it seems to be happening at VFL level. And I think it was a big comeback, so that credit to the VFL boys, they were down by like 35 or 40 points at one point, and Caminiti had put them in front. Only I think there might have been a 50-metre penalty late in the game, I think against Lance Collard, and that allowed Box Hill to hit the front with little time to go, and they end up winning the game, which is disappointing. The number 1 player on the ground for the Sandy Zebs was Mateus Filippo, 20 disposals, 5 marks, 9 tackles, kicked it behind. Anthony Caminiti kicked 3 goals, 5 from 16 disposals. Paddy Dow, 1 goal, 19 disposals. So you'd think maybe Filippo, Caminiti, Dow. Zach Jones had 22, so he would put his hand up. Cooper Sharman, 2 goals from 14. Hunter Clark, 18 disposals. So you'd say, and Zane Cordy, 14 disposals. So you'd say those 5 or 6 players I've just listed would definitely be on the agenda for Ross Lyon this week. I feel like we're going to see some change. Hasty, again, did a few nice things, but again, maybe slightly out of his depth at the moment. Garcia, he's had a good run at it. Do we keep him? He had a lot of tackles again, but minimal impact apart from maybe that really nice left foot to Max King on the lead. Do we drop a few youngsters to bring in a few seniors? Because our season's on the line now. So are we going to back in the experience that's performing at VFL level? Or are we going to persist with backing youth, or maybe a bit of both? It'll be an interesting night at selection, that is for sure. But that's the VFL game. And still linked to VFL, Mateus Filippo. This kind of came out last night. I don't know. There's not really much to make of it, but supposedly one of his managers, not his manager who operates his contracts, but his, I think, endorsements manager, tweeted that he was a little bit upset with, I guess, Mateus being dropped, but also like players not really improving under Ross Lyon. I think he said to David King, he said, "Tell me who in the forward line has improved under Lyon. Owens, King, Filippo have gotten considerably worse under Lyon. When they came in young and just played, they looked exciting. He's destroying them." That's what he said on Twitter. He's since come out and said it was a bit of an emotional response on the couch. He has no knowledge of what's going on behind the scenes, so he kind of regrets what he said. Tom Morris obviously took full advantage of this and talked about it last night on Footy Furnace and obviously tweeted about it. Which is just what happens these days. So hopefully it's just one of those things where it was a bit of a silly mistake and we move on. He's obviously signed for 2 years, Filippo, until the end of 2026. So I don't think we have any problems on his side. I think, it's just when you lose games, all these weird stories come out. It's just a coincidence, right? Like, it's not going to come. If we had a 1 on the weekend, this doesn't happen, obviously. 1, because we win, and 2, because he's got nothing to complain about. So, Filippo has been dropped once in 32 games. I wouldn't take it too personally. We all probably could have looked at him and said, yeah, he probably needs a little bit of a break. The young fella, he's gassed, and hopefully he's played a decent game at VFL level this weekend. Nothing amazing, but maybe that's enough to get a recall against Fremantle on Saturday night. In other news, we have a new CEO, which is not a shock. It was caretaker, essentially CEO, Carl Delena, but it's now formalised. He is appointed as CEO of the St Kilda Football Club. Not a shock. I think I kind of mentioned it when he took over previously, that he's a very experienced person, and it's most likely that he'll probably get the job at the end of the day. Now, he's had 12 years at KPMG. He's been on the board of North Melbourne, 7 years as managing director and CEO there. He played 33 games VFL level, Fitzroy and North Melbourne, and then joined as Chief Operating Officer in October 2022. So, yeah, I don't think it's a huge problem. I think he's very experienced, and I think he's the sort of guy that will back Ross Lyon and back the rest of the team, and hopefully, with his knowledge, that we push forward and create that winning and successful culture that's not just an immediate fix, but something that's sustainable long term. So, welcome aboard, Carl Delena, even though you've been around for a while. But yeah, good to have you. And lastly, let's talk about Euro Your Rock. That's what St Kilda is called, announcing the new name for Sir Douglas Nicholls round over the next couple of weeks. The Guernsey has dropped. There's the home and away Guernsey there, and yeah, really, really nice. I think we always have really good Sir Douglas Nicholls rounds Guernseys, and this is no exception. So the bank account's going to take another hit thanks to the club. So good on you. And they'll probably wear those. Maybe they'll even train in some of those tomorrow. There's an open training session as well. So if you didn't know about that, there is an open training session tomorrow at RSCA from, I think, 10:45. So check that out until midday. But yeah, awesome to see the Guernsey, and over the next 2 weeks, we will see both versions of it. So really excited there. Let's try and get the win in the next 2 weeks. So I'll wrap it up there, Sainers. That's Saints TV Weekly for another week. Thanks to Inglewood Coffee Roasters. Thank you very much for watching. Comment your thoughts. Obviously, like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be back very, very soon. Actually, just before I end the podcast, aiming for the next... In 2 weeks' time, we aim to return, so it'll be me and 2 new faces. Hopefully you're excited by it. I definitely am to get going and talk Saints footy again with you on a Monday night. We are looking for sponsors of the show, so if you're a business owner, you're a Sainer, you want to invest, you want to get some promotion from the podcast relaunching, please email me at jake@saintstv.com.au or DM me on Instagram or any other social media, and I'll hit you up and we can have a chat. So yeah, thanks guys. Enjoy the rest of your week, and as always, go Mighty Sainers. See you guys.